I'll be going over just a few items. My purpose here is not to talk too much about the case, but about the analysis and our support of the case. My name is Francis Ridge. I'm the NICAP site coordinator and archivist for the NICAP site, National Investigations Committee on Aerial Phenomena. I represent the A-Team, which is a group of about 17 people who are helping us peer review the information we put on our site. The people on that A-Team are people from the Center for UFO Studies, the Fund for UFO Research, MUFON, and NICAP. The purpose of us being here representing this case is to lend our support or endorse it, because it's definitely one that needs to be endorsed. The Air Force, in their study from September 47 to December of 1969, they investigated 13,000 plus sightings, and of those there were 741 they couldn't explain. But as our group went through these sightings, we found another 800 or so, and this is one that definitely belongs on that list. This is one of those cases that it's been 40 years since it happened. It was October 7th, 1965, and usually you have to interview people who are very old and their memories have changed considerably about an incident. What we're dealing with here are 8 data tapes that are approximately 6 hours long, which gives us 48 hours of information to go over. And what we're dealing with is the incident as it actually occurred. So what is happening on these tapes, it tells us exactly what happened, and there's no question that this is what happened. This is a very important area. This is a test area where Chuck Yeager flew the Bell X-2, and the X-15 flights were done, and all the secret testing's done. And it's a very restricted area. And when 5 radar sites pick up objects, and you have a number of people seeing things, it's something to really think about. When an aircraft strays across into a restricted area on any base that has restrictions, they're usually communicated with and told that they must not proceed any further. If they do proceed further, they usually send up an interceptor or two, and these interceptors shadow the aircraft and try to get the interloper out of the area. If that doesn't work, or if the aircraft would try to move into a more restricted area, it could be shot down. At this particular time, it was October 7th, 1965, there were 12 objects flying over Edwards and the surrounding area. They were picked up from 5 different radar sites, from the Los Angeles Air Defense Sector to Phoenix to Las Vegas to Boron, Edwards, and several other places, in fact. And there's no doubt that these objects were being tracked from low level and as high as 40,000 feet. This incident got serious enough that they had 6 F-106s sitting on alert that were carrying 1.5 kiloton tactical nuclear weapons. And the decision was made 3.5 hours after the incident started to get one into the air to check it out. Now, we also know that there were other planes sent up. We have evidence to indicate that several other planes were sent up from different areas. But the information that we have from these tapes is basically about Alpha Lima, which went up to check this out. They had to either take the nuclear weapon off of this plane, or they got another plane somehow, but it was an F-106. Originally they were going to send up what they call a deuce, which is a 102, a guard bird, and for some reason they decided not to do that. My impression is that the F-106 was a higher performance aircraft, and it was tied into the SAGE system, and it was much better for what they considered, I think, to be a more serious situation than sending up a guard bird. I have to say that this is an unknown, and if we would use the system that we've got now to rate it, it would be an S5P5. And an S5 is a highly strange suggest intelligence guidance, and a P5 is highly credible, leaving almost no doubt. So using 40 hours of tapes, we know that there's no doubt that the incident took place and that the incident is being recorded accurately. The official Air Force analysis on this was that they were balloons, that they were stars or planets, or that the radar information was based on meteorological targets. Now, reinvestigating the case ourselves, we can't see where they even came up with that, but it's not surprising that they did, because they've explained a lot of cases. This is not the first scramble mission, and it's not the first time the Air Force has explained the case. But the evidence indicates that the explanation is totally wrong, and that's why we endorse this case.